Opening day of MLB tomorrow, but you better believe we are still going to be grinding NBA. We got a 2-game slate here, and we got 2 pretty good games, especially the first game, Boston versus Milwaukee. Huge game for the Eastern Conference Finals, or for just the Eastern Conference, I should say. And then New Orleans and Denver, the late game also should be a pretty good one. New Orleans obviously needs to keep winning. So before we do talk about this 2-game slate, though, let's recap everything from tonight. So Prize Picks just continue the hot streak. It's literally been an unbelievable run over the last 5-6 days. Went 4-1-1. I had Olynyk and Kawhi as well, but they got randomly scratched because it's late season NBA. But we took Claxton over his fantasy score. We took Kevin Porter Jr. over his fantasy score. Dinwiddie over his fantasy score. I just really like the props in that game. I thought they're all too low. And I was like, if the game's is competitive, I think these are going to pretty easily hit. And all 3 easily hit. Zach Collins, well, that was a little bit stressful. One of his worst first halves I've ever seen. I think he had 8 fancy points. Ended up finishing with 42. Olynyk was the random DNP, and then I had Trey Jones push his assist, but Pop pulled him with a minute to go in like a 7-point game. I was like, I thought he was going to cover, and I was going to get the 10x. It would have been since Olynyk was a DNP, but still no complaints. Great day, profited overall on Prize Picks, and another good day for DFS as well. But let me just tell you this. Let me tell you this. How, and I mean how, did the Walker Kessler faders know? How did they know? Right? No, I'm dead serious. No marketing. No, who else got ruled out? I can't even think right now because it's been such a long day. Someone else got ruled out for Utah too. They had no one available. No one, right? Walker Kessler, THT, teamed himself 20 minutes in a competitive game. But the last 3-4 games, he's playing 30 to 35 minutes. I just need a decent game from Kessler, 20 minutes. So how did the faders know? How? I am so incredibly tilted about that. The reason I'm really mad too is I was all over Kevin Porter Jr. for tournaments. Loved him, and then once we got some late news, I had to move some stuff around, got off, and Kevin Porter Jr. went for like 60 at no ownership. So, really frustrated about that. But my final lineup again was Ja, THT, Norm Powell, Aldama, Zach Collins, Westbrook, Knox, and Walker Kessler, who barely played. It's still going to be a profitable day overall for DFS. Great day for Prize Picks, hoping to keep it going. And so let's talk about this 2-game slate. It won't be a super long video, obviously, but we'll talk in depth about these rotations. Absolutely wild performances from Giannis and Drew in that first game. That was just out of this world. How about the Blazers too? I mean, what was this slate, man? Why, like, Olynyk, Keon Johnson broke his finger and shoot around? Like, how do we not get that news earlier? They say, oh, Cam Reddish is going to be active. DNP. Ryan Arcidiacono, random DNP. Blazers run a 7-man rotation. It's like, what is going on? What is actually going on? I stacked Portland on the late slate, so it actually did help me. But, I mean, yeah, I would be pretty upset if I had like Arcidiacono or Cam Reddish or even Keon Johnson. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. But that's late season NBA for you. I forgot to mention, again, the sponsor of the video is Prize Picks. You can use the code DKDFS for a 100% match up to $100. It'll be linked down below. I'll have a Prize Picks video up after this. We only have 2 games, so probably won't be a ton of props up. Let's see. Do they even have anything up right now? Oh, they actually do. Okay, so I'll take a look through these, see if I can find any that I like. And if you guys are looking for premium content, you can check out my Patreon link down below. Core plays for me tonight were THT, John Morant, THT, John Morant, Zach Collins, and Santi Aldama. And then I really liked Westbrook once we got that news that Kawhi Leonard is out. Ownership wasn't updating, but a lot of sites were projecting him for like 10%. I was like, I completely disagree with that. I love Westbrook, and he went crazy. So that was worked out in a nice way. All right, Boston Milwaukee, and I'm really excited to watch this game. For Boston, you got Grant Williams and Robert Williams both questionable. Now, if I had to guess, I would say both play. It's a non-COVID illness for Grant Williams. And Robert Williams, they said it's injury management. There's a back-to-back, but I would say they should probably play him against Milwaukee and then rest him tomorrow, right? That would make sense. So I think both play, but we'll talk about it if they both sit. As far as the top-end guys go, so Tatum and Brown, you got Tatum at 10-3, Brown at 8-6. Obviously, I think the ceiling and the floor is a little bit higher in Tatum, but factoring in price, I might slightly prefer Jaylen Brown since he's like almost $2,000 cheaper to Tatum, but I obviously have interest in both. It's a small slate, so you have to. And again, both are going to play close to 40 minutes. I like Tatum and I like Brown. Now, where it gets really interesting is the guards here. Derek White, Brogdon, Marcus Smart. Usually for me, if I'm playing one of these guys, it's going to be someone that's low owned. And usually the field kind of gravitates towards Derek White. So I have a feeling that Derek White's going to be the most popular of these guards. He has had some big games late, 54, 47, 39. But the thing is, they will go with the hot hand. So if White's struggling, they can close with Brogdon. They can extend Smart a bit. So this group of Malcolm Brogdon, Derek White, and Marcus Smart, I think White and Smart are your safest just because they're starters and they're just more guaranteed minutes. Brogdon's probably the riskiest because if he really struggles off the bench, they can limit him to low 20s minutes. So again, White and Smart are your safest options. But in tournaments, if, for example, if tomorrow, if Derek White's is going to be 2-3x the ownership of Brogdon and Smart, then I'm just going to prefer the lower owned option of those guards. So it'll really, if I do, I don't know what my build's going to be tomorrow, but if I do play one of these guards, I feel like I'm going to go with the lowest owner, one of the lower owned ones, because I think they all look pretty similar. And I think all three have a pretty similar ceiling too, with White, with Brogdon, and with Smart. Now, Al Horford, he's probably going to be on Giannis for a good amount. Decent defender, might play a little bit more in this game. The issue is potential foul trouble. If there's no Rob Williams and there's no Grant Williams, I would think that Horford probably plays a bit more, maybe in that low 30s minute range. So I definitely have interest in Horford. I would like him a bit better if there's no Williams and but no Grant Williams, no Robert Williams. Now, if both Grant Williams and Robert Williams are out, then obviously you're going to get the starters plus Brogdon. That's going to be 6 guys in the rotation. I think you'll probably see Boston kind of just throw guys at Giannis. So you might see a little bit of Blake Griffin, maybe a little bit of Muscala or Cornette. I think Hauser could see a few minutes if there's no Grant Williams and Robert Williams. Now, if Grant Williams and Robert Williams are both in, then I think that would be the rotation. Maybe you see a little bit of Hauser or Blake Griffin, but I think it'll be 8 to 9 guys for Boston. So if Robert Williams plays, I like him here at only a 4.1K. His minutes have not been great, but he's over a fantasy point per minute guy. I think he probably plays high teens minutes. So I do like Rob Williams if he plays. Grant Williams, the minutes have been all over the place on him, but he is another guy that can throw on Giannis at times. So if he plays, I have some interest in him as well. And then again, if both are out, then maybe you can take darts in Griffin, Muscala, Hauser, but I would not feel good about it. All right, let's talk about Milwaukee. So I expect Middleton to be available in this game. I think it was just front end of back-to-back they rested him, and I expect Jay Crowder to be available as well. I think everyone will be available. Joe Ingles was available tonight but did not play. So I think that everyone will be active here for Milwaukee. This is a big game against Boston. So I think they all will be active. And if that is the case, then of the top guys, Giannis, Middleton, Drew, it's Giannis that stands out, right? 11-4 only for Giannis. I really like him at the top. Middleton and Drew, both over 8K, assuming all three are in, are more just kind of secondary plays. Not saying you can't play Drew. Obviously, you saw what Drew Holiday did tonight. He had like a 50-point triple-double almost. Absolutely wild. Middleton, again, would be a bit pricey, but still would be viable. So, assuming all three play, Giannis definitely my favorite. Now, if Middleton sits again, then obviously Drew looks a lot better. And then, the value look a lot better too. But I think all three will play. Brook Lopez has also been playing extremely well. He's playing huge minutes. I'm actually okay with him at this price point, which is really, really weird to say. I don't think I'm going to prioritize him, but he has played very, very well of late. I think Portis is overpriced unless someone sits out, unless Giannis sits or something, which I don't think that'll happen. So I think Portis is overpriced. I think Javon Carter is overpriced. I don't think I can do either of them. The value, this group of Grayson Allen, Connaughton, Ingles, and Crowder, assuming he plays, are all reasonable plays. Allen, Connaughton probably play, low mid-20s minutes. Ingles, I would assume, probably sees low 20s minutes off the bench. Crowder, another guy that, can see some minutes, maybe mid-teens. I think Crowder would probably be my least favorite just because I'm the least confident with his minutes. But yeah, Allen, Connaughton, Ingles, I think are all fair values. I wouldn't mess with anyone else in Milwaukee. New Orleans and Denver. So can we just talk about this really quick? I mean, JV just consistently 32 to 34 minutes a night, even in blowouts. I'm thinking last night, all right, let me go to him at low ownership. I finally buy into JV. They go to Larry Nance. Bench JV, 22 minutes, right? Is that just not more proof that no one runs worse, right? You can't make it up. You can't actually make that up. But, yeah, I like Ingram. I like CJ here. Both should play close to 40 minutes in a competitive game. I think I give the edge to Ingram over CJ, but CJ's price did tick down a bit. CJ is a little bit more up and down, where Ingram's been a bit more consistent of late. JV, well, I mean, if he plays low to mid 30s minutes, I like him. If he plays 22 minutes, I don't. So it's just, of course, like he's literally like 5-6 straight games, mid 30s minutes. I buy in 22 minutes. But if Jokic plays, you would think that JV's the best bet against him. I mean, I don't know. So I have interest in JV for tournaments, but now we're back to his minutes are going to fluctuate situation. So that definitely makes him risky. The wings with Murphy and sorry, it's been a long day. Herb Jones, I think, are fine. I like the ceiling a bit more with Trey Murphy at 6K. Herb Jones, though, if he stays out of foul trouble, I think probably plays high 20s to low 30s minutes. Richardson should see, I don't know, around 20 minutes off the bench. Kind of a fair punt play. Larry Nance, so if you think JV gets limited, then you want to look to Larry Nance, because if he gets extended like last game, he could blow the salary out of the water. Like if you told me for sure Larry Nance was playing mid to high 20s minutes, I would definitely play him tomorrow. So definitely like Nance for tournaments, just a matter of what the minutes will be. And then Najee Marshall should round out the rotation. Probably plays, 15 or so minutes. He's a fine punt play. Maybe you see a little bit of Dyson Daniels, but not enough for me to get to him. And then finally Denver. So the big news here is Jokic. He's questionable. Now, Denver has, like a 3-game lead in Memphis, so I guess they could rest him. So we'll quickly talk about if Jokic misses. Well, number one, I don't know who would start. They could go to Zeke Najee. They can go to Thomas Bryant. Either way, I think both bigs will look really good, Bryant and Najee, because I would think that they would come close to splitting the center minutes with Najee and Bryant. So those guys would make for really good values. And then the main guys all look way better. Like I would really like Jamal Murray. He would run the show. Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon would get a pretty significant usage bump. They would both look great. I think Bruce Brown would still be fine off the bench. KCP's role wouldn't really change, but he would still be a fine value. So there'd be a ton to like here from Denver if Jokic is out. Now, if Jokic is in, kind of the same story. Like I like Jokic a lot here. I think he should be able to feast, whether it be JV or Nance, or if they try to dust off Jackson Hayes and throw him, like whoever they try to throw on Jokic, he'll be able to have his way. So I really like Jokic. I think Jamal Murray at 7-8 is a fine option. He's playing mid to high 30s minutes. He can still go for a 50 any single night he touches the court. So I like Murray, even if Jokic plays. MPJ, Michael Gordon, Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon. You probably see around 30 minutes from MPJ. Aaron Gordon probably sees around 30 minutes as well. Did you guys see that? Was it last game? Mike Malone flat out just forgot to put Aaron Gordon back in the game. Like he even admitted it. He's like, I just forgot to put him back in. I mean, that is something else. They're both kind of filler plays for me. Same with Bruce Brown. He's been playing well off the bench. Should see high 20s minutes. I think he's a reasonable value. KCP, like we know his role, low 30s minutes, 3-and-D guy. If he makes the shots, he can go for 25 to 30. If he doesn't make his shots, he can really hurt you. Like the game against New York went for 6 fancy points in 37 minutes. Reggie Jackson's been out of the rotation. The backup recently has been Zeke Najee. Wouldn't be super confident. I guess they could dust off Thomas Bryant. DeAndre Jordan has not been seeing minutes. So I'm pretty confident he will not play. Even if Jokic does not play, I think it would be like Najee, Bryant, the next guys up. And then the rest of the bench rotation, it's kind of Jeff Green and Christian Brown rounding it out. Green got extended last game because Mike Malone forgot to put Aaron Gordon back in. And then Christian Brown probably sees mid-teens minutes. I mean, he's 3.1K. He's really cheap, but it's not going to do a ton when he's on the court. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap it up for the video. Again, if you have been enjoying the DFS content, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let's try to aim for, 50 likes on this video. I'll have the prize picks video up after this. Also, been working on a day in the life video today. That's why I'm pretty tired. But all of that up probably tomorrow. So that's kind of new content I haven't uploaded on the channel. But hopefully you guys do enjoy that. And yeah, we'll see you all in the next video.